Hey there, welcome back to Logical Republican. Hope you had a great weekend. Sorry I've been away for a couple of days. Hope you had a great Father's Day, and that's kind of what I was out doing. I was out Father's Day-ing. And again, hope it was a good one for everybody here. And, again, reminder, if you like what you see, like what you hear, please do hit the like button. Please do hit the subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it. Today, we're going to talk about something that's kind of intriguing, right? We all know that the election is coming up, and this has always been a hot topic, how the mainstream press has always labeled Donald Trump, the Republicans, as racists. They're racist. Whenever something comes up, they're racist. In fact, CNN, I wish I had a screenshot of this. CNN, during Trump's presidency, CNN, that very mainstream media outlet that is completely unbiased, ran a poll, is Donald Trump racist, yes or no? Okay. Anyways, so there was a recent poll, I think it was in the Wall Street Journal, that came out late last week or over the weekend, that said roughly 23% of the black voting population is in support of Donald Trump. And I think the way it worked out was something like 30% of men and 13 or 12% of black women were going to vote for Trump, according to this poll. And Representative Jim Clyburn of South Carolina, he's the guy that helped manipulate the entire Biden presidency, if you'll remember, because Biden had never won a single primary in the 27 times he had run for president until 2020 in South Carolina, and that was all spearheaded by Clyburn. Anyways, he says that's impossible. It could never happen. Black voters would never, ever, ever defect because Biden is doing exactly what the black people need in this country. Okay. Now, this takes me back a number of years ago. It's probably, close to 30 years ago. There's this guy named Brian Copeland. Okay, he's a comedian who was also a weatherman who, I don't know what he does. Good-looking guy, funny guy. And he was doing a stand-up routine opening a concert that I went to see. I think it was actually the George Benson concert, and Brian Copeland opened for him at the Mountain Winery in Saratoga, California. And he started making Republican jokes. Like, I can't believe that there's a single black Republican in the country, right? Why on earth would a black person vote for Republicans? Well, let's dive into the history, shall we? You probably already know it, and if you don't, let's go back in time. Now, a long time ago, there were slaves, right? Bad thing. All in the South, okay? Now, who wanted the slaves? Well, it was the Southerners, the Southern Democrats. And who voted and wanted to free the slaves? Well, those were the Northern Republicans, okay? It was led by Lincoln, and again, it was the Northern Republicans that fought and eventually won that battle. Who wanted to keep the Jim Crow South or segregation alive in the South, keep black people oppressed, voter rights, all of these things? It was the Southern Democrats. Okay? Who started the KKK? It was the Southern Democrats. It was the Southern Democrats that voted against the Civil Rights Bill. Who voted for it? It was mostly the Northern Republicans. Let's look at some famous Southern Democrat racists, shall we? George Wallace, and I'm not talking about the comedian. I'm talking about the guy who was the governor of Alabama. I think later in life he had an epiphany and he stopped being a racist, and then he got shot. You know who Al Gore is, right? You know, he's the guy that invented the internet. Well, Al Gore is a guy that, he ran for president, the dangling Chad. He was the vice president to Bill Clinton. And, he's a guy, silver spoon, never had a job a day in his life. Well, his dad, Al Gore Sr., guess what Al Gore Sr. did, or actually didn't do? Al Gore Sr. voted against the Civil Rights Act. Robert Byrd, okay, this guy was, I think, in this century. Robert Byrd was an ex-KKK guy. I think he was from West Virginia, a senator, if I'm not mistaken. And then there was the beloved Strom Thurmond, who was in the House or the Senate until he was like 114. Just an old guy, and everybody seemed to love this guy like later in life and forgot everything that he did to keep segregation alive as a younger man. And then we've got, Harry Reid. Oh God, people loved Harry Reid. I don't know why. But Harry Reid, when Obama was running for president the first time, mentioned that Obama was a light-skinned guy and had no Negro dialect unless he wanted to have one. A Negro dialect. I think, didn't he say this in like 2008? And he got away with it. I think he apologized. And then, of course, there's the guy that everybody seems to love, stumbling, bumbling Joe Biden. Jim Clyburn loves him because he's doing a great job for black people. I could do a whole thing on Biden, and eventually I will. But what did Biden say when he was running against president, or when he was running against Obama in 2008? Again, one of the 17 times that Biden has run for president. But Biden said, Barack Obama, he's a bright, clean, good-looking guy. And, it's a storybook thing because he's light-skinned. or the time that Biden said that you can't go into a 7-Eleven or a Dunkin' Donuts without a slight Indian accent. That's actually a YouTube video. He actually said that on video. But again, going back to the whole Democrat and black people thing, I don't get it, right? Why on earth are Democrats the party of the black community, or African Americans in this country, voting African Americans in this country? I don't get it, okay? What has the Democrat Party done for you other than keep you reliant? Help me out here, please. Now, I've been to St. Louis, okay? I've driven miles and miles and miles through areas of town that I wouldn't walk through recently, okay? Nothing changed. Okay, you had 8 years of Clinton, 8 years of Obama. You've had almost 4 years of Biden, and it's still a horrible place. Washington, D.C., crime-ridden, drug-infested, homelessness. Walk down Pennsylvania Avenue a few blocks away from the White House, and it's a freaking homeless encampment. It is an absolute embarrassment. There are wealthy areas of DC, absolutely, but oh my God, it is just horrible. Detroit is coming back, thankfully, but Detroit for decades was an absolute war zone. It was deserted. They were actually contracting the city limits. You had mayors in there that tried to do things. The great Dave Bing, the former basketball player. You had a lot of other great people in there trying to do things, but there's so much corruption, so much graft, so much everything going on there that nothing ever gets done. Los Angeles, oh my God. Try driving one day from, like, say, Long Beach to downtown LA, and it's like 45 miles of blight. Try driving from, say, Burbank to, City of Industry on city streets, and tell me what you see. You will see 30 miles of blight. Houston. Okay, I flew into Houston. I actually flew into the wrong airport because I wasn't familiar with the landscape. And my meeting was near the other airport, the airport that I should have flown into. So I decided to drive on city streets because it was rush hour and the freeways were packed. It was literally 30 miles of blight. Just blight. I mean, homes that were falling apart and people hanging out on the street and selling drugs and standing by the liquor stores with a 40 in a brown paper bag. Oh, let's get to Oakland, shall we? Oakland has gotten better. I mean, it's kind of coming back a little bit like Brooklyn, but believe you me, Oakland is still Oakland. And there are parts of Oakland that are absolutely scary. San Francisco, okay, you've got parts of San Francisco that are, $20 million homes. And then you've got parts of San Francisco, like on Potrero Hill or Sunnydale or parts of Hunters Point, that are just abysmal. There is just ongoing gang activity. There are generations after generations of fatherless homes, and on and on and on and on. So what exactly are the Democrats doing to fix this, other than keeping these people reliant on a welfare check and food stamps? Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. When Trump was in office, unemployment was at its lowest, like in 50 years. Unemployment in the black community was its lowest point ever, like as in ever. But he was horrible. So here's the thing, right? A lot of Republican politicians have run businesses, they've run companies, they've had jobs, they've done things where they know how to balance a budget, make things happen, and realize and cut your losses when things aren't going well. Most Democrat politicians, it seems, and I'm sure there are a few exceptions, and please don't mention Gavin Newsom, but most Democrat politicians have never had a job a day in their life. Never. They've been political aides, and they've come up through the system, and they've been elected here, elected there. They've been on the public paycheck dole their entire professional adult life. Gavin Newsom, please don't mention Gavin Newsom, that he's a successful businessman. Come on, it's all reliant on the Getty money. That's how it started. And his billionaire father-in-law. He's done absolutely nothing business-wise except have good hair, a smile, and Willie Brown in his corner. But let's look at like some of the Democrat politicians, the black Democrat politicians that are absolutely do nothing. Barbara Lee, okay? Barbara Lee has been in the House of Representatives since 1998 representing Oakland. You would think that all the projects and money and all of the things that she could have done in the last close to 40 years or 30 plus years, it would change. No. It's still a pit, and she's still getting reelected, and she's out there every couple of years saying, oh, look what I've done for you. I've kept the welfare checks and the food stamps coming. Nothing about jobs, nothing about education. The education system still sucks. The two-parent home is still lacking, but she still keeps getting elected. Maxine Waters. Oh, what has she done? She's been representing South Central since 1991. 1991. And South Central is still the same. It still looks like an NWA video. There is nothing changed. The faces changed, but the people remain the same, or the people change, the faces remain the same, whatever it is. It's still blight. It's still, I don't want to say hopeless, because it's not. It just needs somebody that actually cares enough to turn it around rather than lining their own pockets. Like Maxine Waters has done a great job of helping her family make hundreds of thousands of dollars a year through, various consultancies and focus groups and whatever all else. But basically, Maxine Waters and Barbara Lee, they're frauds. They've done absolutely nothing for their communities, again, other than keep the public dole coming. So what are we doing here, right? What have the Democrats done for the black community, like in the past however long, right? Other than keep them reliant on government assistance. Not a goddamn thing. It's really pathetic. And when are the eyes going to start opening that what you're seeing in the mainstream press is trash, what you're hearing from politicians is trash, and actually do your own due diligence and see what's what? Wake up. Wake up. So seeing that Donald Trump has 30% of black male voters is a great thing, because it really means that they're starting to get fed up and saying, this is trash. They're using us. They come around every 4 years. They give us whatever we want, or they tell us whatever we want to hear. and then they go away and they do nothing. Nothing changes. Our community looks exactly the same as it did 4 years ago. And it's election time again, and here they come with the Kool-Aid. What a pile of trash. Anyways, I'm done with my rant for the day. Hope you like what you hear. Hope you like what you see. If you do, please hit that like button. Please hit that subscribe button, and I hope to see you back here again tomorrow. See ya.